He was a commodities trader in Chicago, but I'm not a Cubbies fan. Sorry, guys. Outsider. White Sox. I didn't know that. White Sox fan. He's, if you recall, last time we talked about sensory marketing, and we kind of left off talking about scent. That's where Kevin's going to pick up. He's vice president of global marketing for Diffuser World, and he has a lot of things to say about scent. So he's doing this for free. It's just nice of him to come to the class. So let's welcome Kevin Nelson. You want me now? Yeah, man. What happened to your 15-minute story? It's all you. I didn't know that. If you quit early, they'll never forgive you.
I was not warned about this rush start. I'm not even ready yet. I was going to review my notes. Oh my gosh. Can anybody smell anything in here besides your own body? What are you smelling?
This.
Are you sure it's that, or do you think it's this over here?
That.
What does it smell like?
Baking.
Yeah. Well, it's spiced pumpkin. I figured it's fall. Why not we throw some spiced pumpkin at you? What about over here? What are you guys smelling? Hey, I know you.
Okay, no wonder I was like, I don't.
It's kind of a cinnamon smell. It's hard to tell. It's got a little cinnamon in it. Well, it's apple pie. So, apple pie with cinnamon in it, I guess. Spice apple pie, whatever. But usually I follow Professor Stillman after he's talked a little bit about the science behind senses, the sixth sense, and well, there's 5 senses, but we're talking about smell today. How you doing? What are you smelling? Anything?
Goodness.
Yeah. And then I've got one here, it's fir needle. I had it at the back and I had to shut it off. I was getting a headache. So what's that tell you about oils?
Strong.
Can be a little too strong too, can it? Here, I'll let you smell that, see what you think. What do you think?
It is pretty strong.
It is strong, isn't it? I want to talk a little bit about that. First of all, I want to thank Professor Stillman for letting me come and chat with you guys. I hope this is kind of entertaining as well as informative. I try to keep it pretty loose, but he's kind of a taskmaster, I've heard, and cracks the whip, and sometimes he's kind of mean, but down deep, I've seen the nicer side of Tyler. And he's wearing a banana today. Who knew? Why am I here? Well, like I said, I usually follow up his talk about the science of scent and scents and our nose and all that kind of thing, the limbic system. The reason I'm here is because we got to know each other, we started talking, and it turns out that what I do as part of my career fits nicely with what he's teaching. And it's marketing psychology, right? And I deal with scent marketing, and it has to do with the psychology of the human brain and it's all that fun stuff. So I'm a consultant for a couple companies in town, and one of those happens to be a manufacturer of essential oil diffusers. So is anyone in the room an essential oil user or knows anything about it?
I use them.
Do you? What are you using right now?
We use peppermint a lot for like headaches.
Does it work?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you're using those.
I know you too.
Yeah, they're fun. My brother has a sinus infection too. And
There you go. Try that line out, see what you think. Are you a doTERRA user? Young Living?
My sister-in-law is.
Yeah.
But I've used doTERRA and Melissa.
Yeah? Okay, well, we work with all those companies, and we manufacture some of their turnkey products for them. One of them's right here. This is called the Aroma Ace. This is our flagship product. Right now it's pumping out. Can you see that? That plume of stuff coming out? No. See it against the board? It puts out about 1 to 3 micron, it breaks the molecule down to 1 to 3 micron. And I'll tell you why that's significant in just a second. Sometimes this helps. See that coming out? It's uber microscopic, basically. There's a couple reasons why we do that. One, if we were pumping out big drops of oil, you'd use it up in a real hurry, right? You just blow through the oil in no time at all. Two, the oil would drop right to the ground or to the surface. It wouldn't stay in the air. And three, what's number three?
Too strong?
Huh?
Too strong?
Okay. Well, you'd be just caking the surface, wouldn't you? So it'd be strong. What do you think the other reason is?
Spreads farther.
Hmm?
Maybe it spreads farther, diffuses better over a larger area.
If it's in that thick
If
state?
if it's broken down smaller.
That's correct. So you gave me a correct answer to, not to the question I asked, but that is correct. Before that, I'm gonna give you a little bottle of oil. How's that? Okay. There is no third reason. Okay. So, the cool stuff about our technology is that it does get to the molecular level, okay? Well, if we're in aromatherapy, why do I want to be at the molecular level? What's the purpose of doing that? Yeah.
Is it easier for the body to break down if it's already so small?
Okay, so if it's so small, it's easier for the body to do what now? You said break it
Process
down?
and break down.
Absorb it.
Absorption. So kind of the same thing, right? So we can get in, so first it hits the limbic system, and you've already talked about this, okay? But once it gets the limbic system, if it's a heavier compound or a larger molecule and it can't absorb as well, or can't what we call penetrate the blood-brain barrier, then it evokes emotion, right? So you get that, oh wow, I remember when I was on that date and we were in this truck and she was totally, anyway, yeah.
If it's a thicker substance, is it like a stronger scent?
Well, if you were to pour it in your hand and do this, sure, right? But is it gonna fill a room? Is it gonna fill a space that you're trying to diffuse in? Probably not. It's gonna be fairly centrally located. So if I take a bottle of oil and I open it up and I just wave my hand over it, it's essentially the same concept. It's about 0.02 micron is the natural release of an essential oil or a pure oil, okay? So yeah, you go like that. Is there gonna be is it gonna do anything if you do that? No? If you're smelling it, could you go, oh, well, that smells good, I remember this, or, oh, ooh, that made me feel, it could do that too, right? And we've kind of had that discussion about what's healing. Because scent marketing is not about heal, treat, or cure, but can you still get an emotional benefit from it? Absolutely. Can you get a physiological benefit from it? Not so likely. We'll talk about that in a sec. So just a couple more quick things. So this is the flagship product, the Aroma Ace. Why this is flagship is it'll run forever. And I've thrown one on the ground, I think that first time we talked, but I'm not going to do it to this one. This is called a silencer. Makes a big difference, doesn't it? Okay, that's the atomization. That's the cold air fracking, for lack of a better word, the molecule, and it's breaking it up and it vaporizes it or turns it to a gas form. It's just a little 15 mil ball, you screw it on the bottom and that's it. That's the atomizer. All this is a cold air pump. So it's pretty simple tech, but the atomizing is pretty complex. And the company I work with, they have multiple patents and all that fun stuff on that. Then we do a number of concept products, and here's just a couple more. You can see they still have the atomizer on the outside, just for ease of use. It's easy to put on, take off, swap out the bottles. If people are into aromatherapy, that's just really convenient, and they love that. Then you have some that are a little more home decor friendly. A lot of people like this style and design, but essentially it's the same thing. This is an atomizer in the top. You just screw the bottle in and you're off to the races, so it's pretty simple to use. Again, these are all cold air at pressure and volume to create the necessary fracking point or hit point on the molecule to break it up and cause it to vaporize. And all the heavier oils that it doesn't break up, they flow right back down in the bottle, so it just kind of recirculates it. The first question people will ask is how much oil does it use? Okay, this one here, this big boy here will do 3.5 milliliter per hour if I never shut it off. That's pretty significant when you think about a bottle of 15 mil and you're eating up 3 mil an hour. You're done with that bottle in 6 hours, right? Well, that's at $25-30 a pop. That gets a little pricey, but the cool thing about the diffuser is you can adjust them. You can adjust the output I can turn that way down, now I'm only emitting about 0.5. I can turn my rest time up, my run time off, to come on and off at various increments. And that preserves the oil. So I usually get about 3 weeks on a single 15 ml bottle, running from 5 p.m. to about 11 p.m. Well, why is that significant? Well, if you come home or you come back from school, coming from work and you're stressed, you got a little peppermint going, kind of calms you down a little bit, maybe mix with a little lavender. I'm not an oil guy, so what I say doesn't mean anything, but I've heard those combinations can be pretty helpful. Like the gal in the back there, you got that peppermint, just a good deep breath of that, you know, and it's like
Helps
taking
with
a hit.
allergies.
It's legal, you know, it's great. But yeah, it can heighten awareness, it can just make you feel a little more energized. But the funny thing, we were driving to Denver one time and we had one of our little diffusers, I'll show you in a minute. And we were running peppermint. I was running to kind of stay awake, you know, and I'm just getting drowsy and couldn't figure out what's going on. And sure enough, too much peppermint will make you go right to sleep. You know, you might even not wake up, I don't know, but again, a good example of too much is not good necessarily. Okay, so in aromatherapy, we're trying to get beyond just the emotion, we're trying to make some physiological changes. We can't say heal, we can't say cure, we can't say treat in the essential oil industry, or the FDA will come down on you and then it turns into a whole thing. So all these big companies are being very careful or cautious not to get too preachy about what it can or can't do. And why do you think it's risky to say this will do this to you, or this will do this to me? Why do you think that's a risky claim?
There's no regulation, so you don't even know what's in the oil necessarily.
That's right. And let's just say that oil is all that. Let's say it is pure and it's got all the constituents are right on what they say. Why is it still a liability to say this will do this for you, you, and you?
If it doesn't work, you can sue, basically.
Okay, you do open yourself up to legal issues, don't you? There's another hand up back here. No?
Yeah,
Yes.
everyone reacts to different things.
Thank you. So everybody has a different reaction. There's some crazy witch doctor stuff that goes on in that oil industry, okay? A lot of crazies out there. One of them is you can take I guess I can say this. Am I on camera? I'm not being filmed, right?
Yes,
Okay, let me say that. So I took back when I graduated in high school in '81, we had those little senior keys on a chain. Do you guys still have those in high school? Anyway, it's like a stainless or a silver chain and a silver little thing that looks like a shield. And they said if you take something that's personal and it's gold or silver, and you hold it over your hand and you ask your body questions. Have you heard of this? You've heard of this? What's your experience with that?
Oh,
Huh?
Doesn't it like swings or sways yes or no?
Dude, you say yes and it gets in a circle.
Yeah.
And if it's saying no, it pendulums back and forth. And I swear to you, okay, I set my elbow on the table, I'm like being really steady, and I'm asking my body questions, and sure as hell this thing starts doing this circle. And then I asked another question, and these are things I kind of knew were true. And it got bigger, and the more right the answer, the bigger circle this thing was going. And then I did a no answer, and it just started to pendulum that quick. Okay, I quit doing that because it was too creepy, too weird. It weirded me out a little bit. But what I was asking my body was, what oils are good for me? Okay, body, is lemon good for me? Is lime good for me? And so essential oil people do this, okay? It's kind of wild. But I think it works, but I don't know why it works. But so my body doesn't like lemon. I love eating lemons. I mean, I put lemon in water. I've never felt like I didn't like lemons, but apparently it's not good for my body. But lime's great for my body. Grapefruit's great for my body. Some people have a real bad allergy to like lavender. But other people like lavender. Well, does it still help you internally? Well, that's a question that nobody really knows the answer to because it is not regulated and we got to be more careful, okay? So aromatherapy, aromatherapists, there's a lot of people out there, there's a lot of witchcraft and people out there doing funky stuff. But hey, if it helps you, if you feel better and it cures stuff, absolutely go for it, right? If it's natural path and those kinds of remedies is not necessarily a bad thing, especially when you got pharmaceuticals killing people every day. Any other comments? Okay. So we create diffusers, and the reason we create diffusers is for aromatherapy. There are aromatic oils, and then there are oils that you probably shouldn't be breathing. Probably shouldn't be breathing a lot of cinnamon, okay? Cinnamon smells great at low doses, but don't be like snorting cinnamon. We know what cinnamon powder can do to you, okay? But a little bit of cinnamon, it's a nice smell, but is it good for my health? Probably not. Professor?
What can cinnamon powder?
Well, see where they try to breathe it in and it'll kill you apparently. I can't remember why. Does anybody see those videos online?
You automatically throw up and you
Yeah.
It's like bark or something.
Yeah, it just triggers. It's just not a good feeling apparently. It's pretty nasty. But people have been sent to the hospital for it, so it's kind of crazy. So there are aromatic oils that are very good. Right around the holidays, I stick that bad boy under my fake tree, or real tree, it doesn't matter, and pump that fir needle out. It smells like Christmas, and it's great. You know, and it's like, oh, your tree smells amazing. I'm cheating, but you know, it's all cool, especially when you're having parties. Or wassail, the hot cider drink, you know, they got every smell out there you can imagine. Now, they're not all natural, they're synthetic, you know, so you gotta kind of be careful with that too. So then other diffusers, we've got this little one here. This is just being released this month. It's brand new. Same concept, bottle in the atomizer. Just a little bit different shape. And this is just a cold air pump. It's got all your settings and adjustments on here, your timers. The cool thing about this one is you can take it on the go. It's battery powered, just like that one running up here this whole time. You don't have to have it plugged in the wall. So I can go drop that in my cup holder in my car, and you know, you only need it running like every 6 seconds, and it just goes on and off, on and off. It's really kind of cool. So if your car just smells nasty, or you know that mom car, that mom van that has the old French fry, kids have been in it for a while, spilled milk, yeah, this will get rid of that. But kind of good stuff. We'll talk about other uses in a minute. All right, so we hit the limbic system, we get through the blood-brain barrier, we do aromatics, people will take carrier oils like coconut or jojoba, and they'll mix them, you know, like 2 drops for every 5 ounces or 3 ounces of oil, whatever, and then they just rub it in the skin. So there are topicals that the oils are used for. But we're not really here to talk about essential oils in terms of use for aromatherapy. We're here to talk about scent marketing. So, you know, there are several industries that the oils are used for too, not just for humans, but we use them for pets, or pet or mold mitigation, hospitality, pest control, well care, spas have them. Vasa should have essential oils spewing all over the gym. Okay, so that's for you. So I've got a machine here, you should put in Vasa and be pumping that out into the gym. Get people all pumped up, motivated, okay? Get that nasty smell out of that place. All right, so that was just for you. We'll talk after. All right, so scent marketing. So we know scent can evoke emotion. Anybody in the room, you smelled something once in your life and you're like, oh wow, that's crazy, I remembered a memory from way back. Anybody with an example of that? Yeah.
This actually happened to me and my wife last Saturday. It was when it was raining and we were going to get a burger. And all of a sudden, like, we looked at each other at the same time and said San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
Because it's kind of just like the overcast rain and everything. So we're just taking back to our honeymoon there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I was out on my deck and that cool rain and the wind coming off the fields and off the mountains over there is that whole, you know, those who are deer hunters, or you had the smell of the quaking aspen leaves starting to give that smell off. It's just a really neat rain last weekend. Any other examples? Dude, I know you got one, I can tell. But you had one of those moments where it was like, oh wow. No throwbacks to high school or junior high or the first movie you saw? Yeah.
there's this one bush that's out in California, and every hump that we go on, you could always smell this one bush.
Mm-hmm.
And it smells kind of like licorice.
Huh.
And so now every time that I smell that bush, man, I hear the DIs, and I think about those humps, and I just think, man, that sucked.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a bad memory.
Yeah.
That's a good point to bring up. So negative emotions can come out of scent marketing too, can't they? We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so scent marketers, they're not interested well, they don't care about pumping up tons of oil, first of all, and they don't care about if it heals, cures, or treats, okay? See, I have a note about, so they don't care about the physiology, they just want to evoke that, hopefully a positive or a pleasant memory to spark the impulse to purchase. And impulse buying is what it's all about in scent marketing. I think we're told, oh well, we've argued about this, whether scent is the strongest of the senses. What's your thoughts on that, Professor? I'm trying to remember what we talked about.
Strongest?
This is probably the most impactful and most powerful.
Probably the closest tied to emotion, I think. I'd go that far.
To a what?
I think it's closest, the most closely related to emotion. And, it's hard to compete with vision, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, if I had a choice, I'd probably rather see than not smell, right? Of course, then food doesn't taste good anymore. I'm all about food. No, yeah, that would suck. But yeah, tied to emotion, and it combines, with taste and smell combines to be powerful. And so because of that, our brains will tell us something we don't even realize is happening. Okay? So there have been formulations created all over. I've got, apple pie over here. I've got pumpkin. These are synthetics. You sit in a room long enough, and like when I'm testing these things in the office, I'm in about a 500 square foot space, and I've got 8 or 9 of these suckers running, and I'm getting woozy and headaches, and it can be nasty. And people have allergies to synthetics because there's a lot of chemical-based constituents that they put in these things to get the proper smell. So some of the case studies that I usually talk about might kind of give you a sense of what they've created out there. And before I get started, anybody have any experience with scent marketing? Or know how it's been used, or have seen it being used? Yeah?
Disneyland, they use scent marketing all over their food, like cookies and
Huge.
candy.
Have you seen how they do it?
They have these little, I think they have diffusers underneath the thing, but they have these little vents that look like speakers,
Mhm.
so no sound comes out,
Yep.
so I figure that's where.
Yeah, they're using like a fogger machine.
Yeah.
And again, these are all synthesized, and so they formulate them on the cheap. So they probably pump out, I'd be guessing, thousands of gallons a day of any given smells that they're trying to promote. And then there's different types of diffusers out there, of course. I brought a couple just to show you. Like this one right here. This is a pad diffuser. These are kind of cool. This would be great in a car or on the desk, in your office, or, when you're studying for school or whatever. It just has a pad in the bottom, and you just put a few drops of oil on the pad. And then it has this little screen that you put over top of it, and that's just to protect it from this fan that's built in. And that sucker spins around. And the cool thing about this unit is instead of the fan being parallel, it's perpendicular, the blades are, okay? So it doesn't blow through or pull the air off the pad, it just pulls the natural release of the oils coming off the pad. So the oils last longer, it has a stronger output of air, and so it's just a neat little personal diffuser for most people. And you can get them on the cheap, they're not as expensive as some of these other models I've shown you. And it runs on battery, so that makes it nice. And you can plug it in either way. This one, some of you may have seen the water diffusers. They call them vaporizers. Basically, it's just like one of these. You just put water in this thing, maybe a half a cup of water. Put about 8 to 10 drops in there. Turn it on, and all it is a little fan right here in the bottom. And there's a little metal, on this one it's white, right in the center. I can't even think of what they call it now, but it runs about 25 gigahertz, and it's a vibrating metal plate. And it agitates the water in the bowl. And when that water gets agitated, all the oil that's sitting on the surface will agitate, and it will help to create the evaporation process. So then the oil will start to release the essence of the oil. Now all the water vapor comes out too, so it makes like this little cool looking, steamy looking thing, right? But then you'll see it's dropping right back to the surface, okay? So what do you think the benefit or the negative is of having a water-based diffuser would be? Just some guesses.
Wouldn't take less oil would be a benefit, because.
Okay, so you use less oil, you can use, 8 to 10 drops, okay, and these will generally run about 4 to 6 hours. So for 6 hours, less oil perhaps.
Increase the humidity.
Okay, that's what you would think, but it's such a fine mist that it really doesn't put any moisture into the air. In fact, the mist is so fine that it evaporates before it gets about this height and then it's gone. Or it's starting to drop and then it evaporates off. So you don't get a real benefit as far as humidity is concerned. Because you wouldn't put essential oils in a humidifier, okay? It wouldn't have the agitation necessary to really bring the oils out. And also, oils are corrosive. So the reason they don't want too much oil for volume of water is so the oils won't eat away at the plastic in here. Now, all the products we make are polypropylene, and the oil won't eat through those, and so they don't require any protection. Okay, so not a lot of humidity out of them. They do less oils, but do you think you get the effect or the strength out of it? You don't. Why would that be? Why do you think it'd be as strong?
Diluted.
What?
You're diluting it.
You're diluting it quite a bit. And what were you saying, Sam?
I was saying the same.
Yeah, so you're diluting the volume of the oil, of course, but what else about oil and water that we all kind of know?
They separate it.
They can't mix. Oil and water scientifically cannot mix, okay? So how is the water vapor gonna pull the oil molecules out of the unit? They don't. So all you're getting is that, just like opening the cap on that bottle and going like this, that's what you're getting out of one of these, okay? But they're quiet, they have pretty lights, they're calming, people love them. China's selling them for $10 a pop or whatever, It's just a race to the bottom. So they're really cheap and you can get into it pretty inexpensively. A test that we did, it was on some special machine here at SUU to measure the amount of particles coming out of one of these versus one of these. It was night and day, because this is pure oil, this is water, you're still getting particles, you're getting water particles, and it measured those, and this still was 10 times as much particle release as this was. But then including the fact that this is mostly water particles, no oil particles. So you'd have to do, this is 800 times more effective than one of these with the same amount of oil. So if I'm diffusing oil in an atomizer, I set it to run 15 minutes, it'll fill this room. As you notice, you can smell it pretty quickly. Then shut it off, because oil will evaporate over about a 3 to 3.5 hour period of time. So once it's in the air, just shut that bugger off. You don't want to be oversaturating, you don't want to be overexposed. And you'll be in here, you're like, I can't smell it, I gotta turn this on, crank it up. Somebody walks in the room and they're about out the door, because you get that nose blindness, we call it, right? You get so used to it that you don't even notice it's there. So just a couple things to think about. This is kind of cool. It's a little USB, kind of like a flash drive sized gadget. Has a little bottle in there, you put some oil in it. And it works off a concept of piezo crystal technology. And I've never seen an actual piezo crystal, but I know that they base it off of that. And it's just a very thin disc, very flat. I don't know what the thickness of that would be, but it has a bunch of holes in it, like a little mesh screen. And then when you plug it in your USB, you introduce electricity to it, it excites that disc, and it vibrates really fast, just in little spurts like this. And it spits oil out the top, but it does it in like a little smoke form, because it's so fast. So it keeps most of the heavy oils contained within the mesh. It's really kind of cool. You got to run thin oils most of the time. If it gets too thick, or you leave it out in your car and it gets real cold out, it's not going to work so well. So just some good things and bad things about that. It's whisper quiet, throw it in your pocket, go to class, come back out, shove it in your car, or in your PC if you're working at home on your laptop or whatever. So it's kind of neat. This unit here, like I said, this is battery operated as well as plug-in. same thing. There's your atomizer, you're screwing the bottle in. It's just a cold air pump. And then that does its thing. Okay, I got off task, so let's get back to what matters. All right, case study. Grocery stores. What do you think how do you think they use scent marketing?
Baking section.
Why? They have all their baked goods, aren't you smelling their baked goods?
Baking goods smell good.
Yeah, but aren't they already baking the cookies and the breads and it's all going on back there? Wouldn't that give us enough smell?
Everybody.
Hmm?
It's not reaching you outside.
Does it
Atomized.
That's true, it doesn't atomize, but it does, you know why? Because most grocery stores these days don't have bakeries. They have a bakery section, and all the breads are brought in every morning, but they don't actually bake them there. They don't bake their cookies there, they don't, they'll warm up stuff, right? So that's the reason it's getting pretty popular, because they're bringing it all in now. Anybody from the East Coast? They got a Wegmans food market out there. Have you ever heard of Wegmans? They're huge. They're big. Well, they're 150 stores, but it's all privately owned. Danny Wegman, and they do bake their goods there, and it's a pretty awesome store. Most people have been there. I don't think they have any in Maine. Your page is saying you're not from Maine, though. Mass. Okay. I don't know if Wegmans has reached Mass. They must not have. But yeah, grocery stores have to promote stuff, but they don't make anything there much anymore. Some places still, they'll make up their salads or whatever, but they don't do a whole lot of that. Seattle's Best coffee chain. They did a study where they ran scent marketing for a year, increased profits over $1.5 million. And that was after cost. That was net $1 million. Okay. I think that was a study done in just a certain number of stores. It wasn't the whole chain. Shopping malls. We work directly with a few shopping malls. There's one in Puerto Rico right now that we just started with it was last semester. And they do Annie's pretzels. And the Cinnabon. And you think, oh, Cinnabon, it smells awesome everywhere. Well, you go a couple, stores over, you go down a whole nother hall, and you don't smell that Cinnabon smell. So now they're pumping that stuff into the other halls where the store isn't located. And you can drive traffic that way. Hershey's in Pennsylvania. They pump Hershey's chocolate smell, even at their facility where they take people on tours, in the vestibules and in the entrances, they pump out the Hershey's chocolate smell through a concoction. Obviously, it's a synthesized. Another kind of fun one is Shania Twain. I bring this one up each semester just because we worked with her. Some of you might not even know who Shania Twain is now. She's kind of on the older end these days. Who's that real famous country singer girl that's gone pop?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. She's like an early Taylor Swift, right, Tyler? You don't even know who Shania Twain is. So anyway, we atomized her perfume fragrance that she was pitching during her concerts. And they do that, when I was a kid, you didn't smell perfume, you smelled another smell that was coming off everyone's toe. But nowadays, where they don't allow that in most concerts, they're able to do a lot of this scent marketing. And so they were promoting her perfumes. And then you come out and there it is, it's sitting there ready for you to buy it. And, oh, that smelled awesome, I'm gonna grab this stuff. Or she's smoking hot, I'm gonna buy this stuff, That's the reasons you buy stuff. The funniest one though, we just barely started this project in July. Canada has legalized cannabis through the whole country. Okay, and it's being regulated through both the main government and also the territorial governments, the provincial governments. And so they're coordinating, and they're also coordinating with like CVS and some of these pharmacy stores. Well, all the government-run facilities, they're not going to build all these new places so people can come and smoke cannabis, but they're going to put them in their liquor stores, their countrywide liquor stores, or what equivalent, or state liquor stores. They're going to have a cannabis section. Well, the famous cannabis in Canada smells like skunk. All right, and they're like, oh, this is terrible, but it's medicinal and it's legal, so we're gonna smoke it regardless. So they want to get rid of that smell. So they contacted us, and we're working with them now to take our technology to hide the smell of marijuana. Can't wait to be in the history books for that one. Okay, so here we have a commercial unit. I don't know, some of you can, some of you can't see that. Kind of hard to see. The cool thing about this unit here, it's totally self-contained, 100 cubic feet of filtration per minute. It has a filtration fan. It has a volume fan that goes behind the atomizing. And for the same amount of atomizing oils, we create about 10,000 square feet of coverage. So if I turn this on right now and I put a light behind it, you'd see just this rush of air just pouring out of this thing. We went to a big convention in, was it Maryland? And they had to shut it off because it was so strong. We were in 25-foot ceiling, big convention hall. It was only on like 11 or 12 minutes and we had to turn it off because it is so effective and so quick to reach. Of course, it has all kinds of timers. A lot of our old folks home, retirement facilities will put these in because old people put off a smell called ketones. You smell grandma's house, you know, has that smell, right? We just moved my mom into our home, and there's that smell. I'm like, what are we gonna do? And I'm diffusing lime and orange, all day long we're diffusing oils. It's good to be connected. But yeah, there's just that unmistakable smell. So they're putting those in retirement homes. Really helps. It filters the air. It also makes it smell nice. And all essential oils are antimicrobial, antibacterial, and so they are good for that. They use them in cleaning agents all the time. They use essential oils, and even your perfumes are all essential oil based. That's how they get the actual smells. So pretty remarkable stuff. So all of our commercial applications, our scent marketing applications, we use these bigger commercial machines. And we're the only one in the United States that manufactures any of this stuff. All the rest of it's imported from China. And so far so good, and no one has really matched this technology. So back to our cannabis story. The cool thing about smoking cannabis, I guess, is it can calm you down. I guess it gives you the munchies. It can also cause you to hallucinate. Or, I don't know if it's hallucination like LSD would do, but, and I have not done LSD, for a rumor, you start seeing things and get schizophrenia and all that kind of fun stuff. But when they're smoking it, they start getting hypersensitive to their surroundings. Well, what happens when you're getting a little bit high and you see a rodent run across the floor, or an insect?
You laugh at it.
You might laugh, you go, oh, wow, dude, or, oh, that's gonna get me. I don't know what they do. But now we're creating separate zones to get rid of the rodents so that it won't freak people out when they're in there doing their medicinal marijuana. So we came up with a solution where we take peppermint, because you can just take cotton balls and saturate with peppermint with a cotton ball and put it in areas of your home where you're having mice problems. Mice go away. And it's good for you, it's good for your pets, can't hurt anybody else, but it gets rid of those elements. That's why pest control uses essential oils quite a bit. So we came up with a blend that will help knock out the smell of the marijuana, and it will reduce the rodent issues, which could cause people to freak out and get nervous or whatever they do. So I just thought it was kind of a funny way. But now they're realizing the benefits of the oil, not just to get rid of a problem they had, but now they're seeing, dollar signs in their heads. Like, oh, we got to sell this. So they want to retail the oils and tell everybody, hey, you walk into here, this is why it smells good, and this is how you can get rid of your pest problems, and it calms you down or whatever. So now they want to retail oils in these same liquor store / cannabis smoking shops. And they have a door that closes in between the two sections, so they'll keep down the smell so the people in the liquor side aren't getting inundated with the smell of cannabis, skunk smelling cannabis. So we got machines pointing across the doorway to get rid of the smell. We got machines over here filtering the air and getting rid of rodents. And it's just a whole menagerie of smells going through those places. Kind of funny. How are we doing on time? Did I bore you enough to death, or are we doing okay? Have you learned anything? I don't know. It's kind of cool stuff. It's everywhere you go. I'm sure even in Cedar City, there's some set marketing going on. I got some questions for you. So you might want to answer them if you can. Earlier I talked about micron levels. What micron level does that Aroma Ace put out on average? Hold on. Did his hand go up first or did yours? I couldn't tell. You're a good man.
Is it 0.2 or
Huh?
0.02?
Okay, that was if I open up a bottle and I wave my hand over it. It's 0.02. Ah, what the heck. That was a good answer. Yeah, that 0.02 is the natural release of an essential oil on average. How about some sweet orange? People like sweet orange. Last time I threw a bottle of oil, Professor, tell them what happened. Do you remember? We were down in the auditorium. I went to toss the oil. Boom! Right into the ceiling, bounced down, hit somebody. There's really something about muscle memory. I used to play baseball forever, right? Now, it's like those guys get on the pitching mound and go boom, right into the ground. Muscle memory's gone, so I try not to throw too far anymore. Okay, back to the original question. There was a hand here. Oh, yours was up. So what was your answer for the... Okay, that was the bottle.
I think it was 3 microns.
Huh?
3.
Okay, 1 to 3 micron. That's right on, brother. Here's peppermint. Take a little whiff of that right now and see if it calms you down. Are you a Cubbies fan?
No.
Okay. I'm going to say that'll calm you down if you are. All right. How about what is the most efficient and effective way to diffuse oil? His finger was up. He's like this.
Atomize it,
Okay, and why?
gets down to molecular level.
Gets the molecular level, and it's pure oil, right? There's no other,
Like water.
no water, there's no oils, there's nothing else to go with it, right? Okay, there we go. Let's see. I have enough giveaway. Yeah, I've got enough. Good. Here's some more peppermint. By the way, just so you know, these are $20 a pop, so these are a fun little gift. I mean, it's small and it's oil, but it's still worth it. How much exposure to essential oils is too much? That was fast. You better have a good answer.
I was gonna say more than 3 microns.
No. 1 to 3 microns is just what's necessary for the oil to get in the air and stay in the air to evaporate over time. If you get any larger than that, then your oils start getting a little heavy, and you'll start losing them out of the airspace. Yes?
Was it more than 6, or am I just making
6
that up?
what?
Microns.
No.
Well, can you say that it depends on the person?
Oh, there we go.
When you start getting a headache, obviously you should turn it off.
That's right. So it's not a specific number. He might be able to take in, 8 milliliters of oil in 20 minutes, and I would probably go into a coma if I took that much. But yeah, it depends on the person, and so it's really trial and error. It's kind of a way to assess your own body, how it makes you feel. If you're feeling crappy, shut it off. Go for another oil. So that is right. I'll give you one of these bad boys here. Brand new batteries. And it's orange because it's Halloween. So isn't that clever?
Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Last time we talked about dead bodies and cookies. I remember.
Oh, yeah.
Dead bodies and cookies.
Okay, well, I can talk about the dead body smell.
And NASCAR.
Oh, I missed NASCAR, didn't I? Man, I passed right by it. Yeah, NASCAR. We have a guy that wants us to create the smell of burnt rubber, like when they're doing burnouts. And we did, and we can, but to get that smell, you have to use a synthetic that is toxic. And later, they later decided that they weren't able to release it to the public as a consumer item. But we did bacon, and we did pancakes, and they are selling bacon and pancakes at the NASCARs. Because it's guy stuff, okay? So bacon, yeah. Wrap it in bacon. All right, but yeah, no burnt rubber. I'd like to get the smell of the motocross fuel. That stuff's awesome. You ever been to the AMAs? Woo! Good stuff. Anyway, they haven't asked for that yet. Dead bodies, yeah. Well,
It's Halloween, man.
there's a company called Froggy's Fog, okay, and they cater to the haunted house industry. And they do develop a decomposing body smell for your haunted houses, for your entertainment and enjoyment. So, I don't know how that, oh, and they do vomit, yeah. Yeah, they'll do it all. And they, yeah, yes, that's a bad memory for some of you. So, yeah. I don't remember the cookies one, so I'm sure everyone does cookies, all that stuff. Okay. Why is scent marketing effective? Man, you were, I already, well, I'll give you another shot. What?
Because it triggers memories.
Okay, but why is that, why is it effective for
'cause it's
scent marketing?
Emotional, it makes people buy more.
Makes you buy, it makes you buy impulsively, right? Just, oh, I wasn't gonna buy that, but now I am, right? Because if I hadn't smelled that, I might have passed right on by that, right? How are we doing on time? Are we running out of time?
2 minutes.
2? Oh, rock and roll, okay, I did all right. You want lemon, peppermint, lime, or orange? The grapefruit.
I'll do lemon.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay,
Should've done grapefruit.
question.
It smells really good.
Does scent marketing create any negative responses? Wow, you're fast, dude.
Yes.
If you ask why.
Yes, so like if I smelled that smell like I was describing earlier,
Uh-huh.
it would invoke a negative memory and that'd be a negative response.
Okay, good.
Kind of
Yeah, so some else can.
He was on trade. I heard this and that.
Sweet orange, people love that. Hey, you still got a chance. Who's raised their hand that I've missed? I know a couple of you raised your hand. I know you raised your hand once, yeah? Okay, this question's for you if you feel like you can answer it. All right? How much does Professor Stillman weigh?
With or without, yeah.
Without the banana.
Without the banana.
180, right?
180, you wish. Okay, anybody else want to take a stab? Yeah.
247.
Huh?
247.
247, one more.
235.
I was gonna say 230.
Oh, you answered it?
No. 235.
I'll say 235.
252, okay, that's all you get. Who's closest?
236.
So were you the under?
What?
Who was the under on that one?
It was 235.
She was the under on that, right? 'Cause you
Yeah.
were over?
235.
I
Yes.
Yeah, these guys said 235.
Who did? You guys fight over it.
It's very low.
You sure?
235, it's not bad.
You sure? Okay. There you go. You can borrow some of his oil.
There's your
All right. Who has a birthday today? I'm gonna check your license. Who has a birthday like really quickly soon after this date?
Mine was Friday.
What's your birthday?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I don't have my license with me though. so-
Anybody else tomorrow? All right, you get the USB. You ready? Careful. What else is that?